We are now going to move on to our last area, which is volume. We are going to start by studying the volumes of prisms and cylinders. But before that, we need to understand what exactly is volume. Volume is the amount of space or fluid or a solid which can be placed inside of an object. So it's the amount of soup that's in the can. As a definition, volume is the measure of the amount of space a figure encloses. It is measured in cubic units. So we could have cubic inches, cubic meters, cubic yards, but it's the amount of space a figure encloses. First, here is a question. Find the volume of the rectangular prism. The rectangular prism is the easiest one to figure out the volume of. The volume of the rectangular prism is found by taking the area of the base times the height. The reason the prism is one of the easier ones is because you actually can use any of the surfaces as the base. In this picture, I'm actually going to use the part that it's actually sitting on, this black bottom. To find the area then, I would take 5 times 3. That's going to give me the area of the base, and I multiply that by the height, which is 4. I have 15 times 4, which is 60 inches cubed. There we have the volume of a cylinder, or excuse me, volume of a prism. Volume of a prism then is the area of the base, as noted here in the blue, times by the height of the prism. So our formula would be volume equals base times height. The key is to be very careful about how we pick the height. Remember, the height, or the altitude of an object, is measured perpendicular to the base. The height will always meet the base at a right angle. Here we have a triangular prism. We know that because the two triangular bases are perpendicular to, or excuse me, are parallel to each other. We have the slant height of 8 feet. We have the height of the object of 12. But what we're missing actually is the length of these two sides. We don't know those two, so we actually can't figure out the height and the area of the base. As you notice now, I'm going to drag out this triangle. That's the same as the base on the other end here. There's my triangle, which has a slant of 8 feet. Hopefully you can notice that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. That means that the diagonal is the n squared of 2 side. If we do n squared of 2 equals 8, and solve this for n. Divide by root 2, and n equals 8 over the square root of 2. Well, we can't use that, so we actually need to get rid of the radical in the denominator. And so we have n equals 8 root 2 over 2. That can be reduced. 8 divided by 2 is 4 root 2. We've done quite a few of these, but if they're still causing you a problem, make sure and stop in with me and check, and I will definitely help you out. We now know that the base is 4 root 2 by 4 root 2. To find the area of a triangle, we take 1/2 base times height, or in this case, 1/2 4 root 2 times 4 root 2. The nice thing about multiplication is it is associative and commutative, meaning we can multiply things in any order we choose. I'm going to take 4 times 4, which is 16, and the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which is the square root of 4. Now reducing this, I have 16 times 2, which is 32, and half of that is 16. I have my first area, or the area of the base, which is 16. If you remember then, the volume formula is the area of the base times the height. I just found the area of the base to be 16, and we knew the height was 12. And 16 times 12 is 192. And in this case, feet cubed. As you can see, there's going to be a little bit of math with these, but all in all, it's not too hard. Just take it in the small pieces, and it'll be easy. Our next question, it says, the weight of wet snow is 0.575 times the volume of snow in cubic inches divided by 144. How many pounds of wet snow will Lori shovel off of her rectangular driveway that is 75 feet long and 35 feet wide when it snows 4 inches? The first problem here is the fact that we have the driveway in feet and the amount of snow in inches. To find the volume of the driveway, we kind of think of it as being a rectangular prism. We have our driveway, and then on top of that we have some snow. So the green part represents the amount of snow on our driveway. What we need to find first is the area of that base. The area of the base will be the fact that the driveway is 75 times 30. That will give me the area of the base. Then the snow is in 4 inches. So what I will do is I will put 4 over 12, which converts it into feet. Now we just need to multiply that. 75 times 30 will give me 2,250, which we need to multiply by 4 and divide by 12. And you will get 750 cubic feet of snow. Quite a bit of snow. Now the weight of the snow is 0.7575 times the volume of the snow in cubic inches. What we're going to do here then is we're going to do a little bit more calculations. We're going to take the volume we had of snow, which is 750. So we take the volume of the snow times 0.575, and I got to start over here. I forgot one little piece there. We got to change this over. The key right here is in cubic inches. We need to take our volume of snow, which is 750 cubic feet, and change that into cubic inches. So let's backtrack just a little bit. I need to get my answer into cubic inches. Right now I'm in cubic feet. If I take my answer in cubic feet and I multiply it by 12, 12, 12, that would convert it, because as you think about cubic feet, it's feet by feet by feet, so I need to convert each of those dimensions from feet into inches. So instead of being cubic feet, we have cubic inches. Instead of doing 12 times 12 times 12, the easier way would be to just simply take it times 12 to the 3rd power. Now we have our answer. So the driveway in cubic inches would be 1,296,000 cubic inches of snow. That's what we need now for our driveway to be converted into the weight that we shoveled. So we have 1,296,000 cubic inches of snow times 0.575, all divided by 144. So we're going to take our 1,296,000 times 0.575. That answer will be divided by 144. And we will find out that How many pounds of snow did she shovel? Would be 5,175 pounds of snow. So the next time we get one of those big March or April snows and it's really wet, go ahead and measure the dimensions of your driveway, and you too will be able to figure out how many pounds of snow you just shoveled. Next, we have the volume of a cylinder. For the volume of the cylinder, we're going to do something very much the same as what we were just doing. We take the volume of the area of the base times the height of the prism. We're going to take the area of the blue base, and we're going to multiply by that by the height of the cylinder. Area of the base times the height of the cylinder. How many cubic inches of garbage will fit into this garbage can that has a diameter of 18.25 centimeters or inches and a height of 32? Volume equals base times height. The area of the base of area of a circle is pi r squared. That means we're going to do pi. Right now we have a diameter of 18.25, so our radius would be 9.125 pi r squared times the height, which is 32. Now make sure you're practicing these as I do them, because you really want to get good at doing these on your calculator. It is much simpler to be able to do them on your calculator in all as one big step as opposed to doing it in multiple steps, which will allow you to make a lot less errors you're doing the calculations. So again, we're going to take 9.125 and square it. So on your calculator, do this all at one time. 9.125 squared times pi times 32. And we're going to round this, so we're going to say approximately 8,370.77 cubic inches. Quite a bit of cubic inches of garbage can fit into that garbage can. The last thing here we have to talk about is finding the volume of an oblique cylinder. The key here is the fact that when we talk about an oblique cylinder, we have to talk about the height. The height of this object would be represented by the dotted line. As we look at it, we have the diameter and we have the slant height, but we do not actually have the height. But if you notice, they do make a right triangle. What we can do is we can take h squared plus 7 squared, and that should equal 25 squared, which will give us h squared plus 49 equals 625. Subtracting the 49 across, we get h equals 576. Again, make sure that you're doing these calculations so you know how to do them. And h will be 24. We now know the actual height. Now all we need to do is calculate it out. Area of the base times the height. Here we have a diameter, which means the radius is 3.5. So from the center to the edge is 3.5. We have pi radius squared times height. And we will see here that you would get an answer of 923.63 centimeters cubed for the volume of this oblique cylinder. That's the end of our first discussion on volume. We have a couple more to go, but if you have any questions on this one, make sure to stop in and ask.